Good evening and welcome to the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound Legacy of Hope event. I'm Mark Sarnes, and I do have the distinct honor of being CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound. It's one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. It's great to be here with you. But tonight is really all about the outstanding work we do with youth. It's all about our youth. That's what this night is, and thank you for being here to help celebrate our youth and their accomplishments. Tonight we're going to be recognizing our 9 Youths of the Year from the various branches across our 3-county footprint. We're in Pierce, North Mason, and South Kitsap counties. We're one of the larger Boys and Girls Clubs in the United States, in the top 5% in size, so we're a large organization. And we have a big footprint, and that's why we have 9 branch winners tonight who are vying to represent Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound. As some of you may notice, I introduced myself as the CEO. I usually introduce myself as having the honor of being the president and CEO. Tonight I just said I have the honor of being the CEO. And that's because in the 1st of January, we promoted Carrie Prudente Holden from Chief Operating Officer to President of the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound. Now, yes, absolutely. I still have that extreme honor of leading the organization, but now I'm doing it in a real partnership with Carrie. I'm very proud of her. It's amazing to see her growth. She's been with Boys and Girls Clubs either here locally or at the national level for about 21 years. Most of the things I know about Boys and Girls Clubs I learned from Carrie, honestly, that is true. So please give another very warm welcome to Carrie Prudente Holden, our new president of the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound.
Good evening. Thank you, Mark, and everyone for that warm introduction and welcome. I'm excited to serve the clubs and the youth in our community in this new role alongside each one of you. I have a simple job, but an important one tonight, and that is to thank each one of you for being here. You've taken time away from family and friends to spend with us, and we appreciate it. For those who sponsored this evening and invested your time and talents throughout our Youth of the Year program over the past 8 months, I am deeply grateful. Our Youth of the Year branch winners that you're going to meet a little later on have had an amazing experience because of your effort. If you turn your attention to the side walls in this room, you'll see all of this evening's sponsors recognized throughout the course of the event. Let's take a minute and please give them a warm round of applause. Not only is tonight a celebration of our club kids, it's an opportunity to share with you the impact of our work that would not be possible without the support of so many of you in our community. One of my responsibilities in my new role is overseeing our incredible philanthropy team. So instead of spending the money each year on the operating side and trying to figure out how far we can stretch those dollars on your behalf, I'm now working side by side with the team to raise 89 cents out of every dollar that we spend. Yes, that's right, for those of you quick with the math. Only 11% of our revenues come from the kids and families that we serve. Our business model is intentional. A little crazy. It's kind of odd for a business model that you lose money with each new customer you serve, but it's an intentional business model. We keep our fees at a level that ensures family commitment, but they're low enough so that we're able to serve all of the kids who need us most. We may not have the best business model, but we do have an excellent return on investment. Did you know that every $1 invested in our program returns more than $10 to the community? It turns out that kids are one of the best investments around, but I'm sure most of you already knew that. In fact, it's probably the reason you're here tonight. The opportunity to invest in kids and publicly show our support for their success is what tonight is all about. That is why this event is such a great way to help kick off our year, and why each of you being here tonight is so important, not just to the success of our organization, but to the success of all of the kids in our community. Our programs are designed to give kids a boost, whether it's academics, nutrition, or even leadership skills. Our staff work with each young person, helping them achieve excellence in their pursuits. Thank you again to each one of you for your investment and the financial boost we need to invest in kids. I also want to take a few moments to introduce some community leaders who have made a difference for kids in our region. Each group being recognized have committed time and resources to our organization, the community, and most importantly, to expanding opportunities for youth and their families. As I call out these groups, please stand and be recognized. Now, the rest of us in the room are going to do our best to hold our applause until the very end. We'll see how that goes. I anticipate a good showing in this room. You look like you're definitely with it. So first, I would like to recognize our Board of Trustees, our Board of Governors, and committee members who are present here tonight from the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound. Can you please stand and be recognized? Oh, I hear the applause. Yep. Thank you for your volunteer work and leadership on behalf of our kids. Let's see how it goes on the next one. To some of the most dedicated youth-serving staff, whether you're in the front line serving kids every day or keeping the wheels turning in our administrative office, thank you to the staff of the Boys and Girls Club. Can you please stand and be recognized? Oh, a little better. We'd next like to recognize all the elected officials and those representing our elected officials. Please stand. Thank you for serving our communities and taking time to be here tonight. I know that we have a number of guests representing our armed forces and our first responders. I'd like to say a special thank you for keeping us safe and joining us this evening. Please stand and be recognized. And finally, one of our biggest community partners, our schools. Will all the teachers and administrators at the K-12 and post-secondary levels from our communities please stand? We'd like to recognize you for all the great work you do. Okay, now for that round of applause at the very end that we were going to hold off for. One more round of applause for everyone. By being here, you're making a commitment, investing in the future of our youth, and ultimately the success of our community. For that, we are truly thankful. Thank you. It's now my honor to introduce you to our MC for this evening, a Tacoma native, Miss Paris Jackson. Not only is Paris the KOMO 4 Morning News weekday traffic anchor, she's also an alum of R.L. Davies Boys and Girls Club. We're incredibly lucky to have her here with us tonight, as she'll be up at 1:30 in the morning. Yes, you heard me correctly. It's about, 5-6 hours from now? Someone can do the math on that. Not very long. To make sure that she is ready and in the newsroom to alert all of us to any hazards out there on our morning commute. When she's not monitoring the backup on I-5, Paris will occasionally report on stories of the day at KOMO's midday newscast and also fills in at the anchor desk from time to time. Her work has earned her a regional Emmy and Associated Press Awards. A graduate of Washington State University's Edward R. Murrow School of Communication, she's a member of the Wazoo Alumni Association, National Association of Television Arts and Sciences, and a member of the Seattle chapter of the National Association of Black Journalists. When Paris isn't working, which doesn't sound like it's very often, but when she isn't working, she enjoys volunteering, mentoring, and rooting for the Cougars and Seahawks, along with her husband, and new this year, her baby son. She's recently had a new addition to the family. Please join me in welcoming Paris Jackson.
Is everyone having a good evening? It is an honor and a pleasure to be with you for the third year in a row here to honor some dynamic students. It's good to be home. I'm glad the rain subsided, at least on my commute as I was making my way out of Seattle to come down here this evening. Hopefully, as you were driving in, it was a little bit more smoother than this morning to make your way here. But you are all here for an awesome and a wonderful event to recognize the tireless efforts of 9 students who have worked for the last several months to prepare themselves for this evening. They are all winners in our book, and so we are so pleased, and I'm so pleased just to be here in a community that I am deeply committed to and involved in, and we will get on with the program, but I just want to let you know, thank you for being here. Thank you for making some time out of your schedule to support this very wonderful occasion. So tonight, as I mentioned, we are going to celebrate 9 outstanding youth that represent 9 branches of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the South Puget Sound. The Youth of the Year program is the Boys and Girls Club of America's premier youth recognition program, promoting and celebrating club members and their service. Now, each contestant is judged in the areas of academic success, character, and citizenship, healthy lifestyles, interviews, essays, poise, and public speaking. Now, one thing I'm going to go a little bit backwards and say I had the opportunity 3 years ago to interview and do a story on KOMO News on one of our past Youths of the Year, Tay McKenzie. And it was during that time that I was introduced to this platform and also all the great work that is done in our community to represent and prepare these children and these teens for the next level. And last year, I also had the opportunity to interview the last group of students as they were conducting and going through interviews. So it's something that is near and dear to my heart. And as we continue along with our program, you will get a taste of how they have prepared themselves for this evening. This year's Youth of the Year candidates have already been chosen, as I mentioned, as the Youth of the Year from their respective branches. And for that, they are all winners, representing their clubs. We would also like to take the time to recognize past Youths of the Year that are present with us today. Now, on the screen, you will see the names of the organization's Youths of the Year, but you would also like to present to you a Club Youth of the Year winner. So if you are here as a past member, a past winner, please stand or give a wave. At this time, we would also like to recognize alumni of any of the Boys and Girls Clubs. Please stand and also wave your hand if you are also in the room. Now this evening, during this reception, the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound will induct one of this year's members of the 3rd class into the Alumni Hall of Fame. Please join me in congratulating Ben Warner, an alumni of the East Side Club. Now, Ben embodies the dream we all hope that our youth will embody as they grow up and continue on in their life's journey, demonstrating exceptional service and commitment to his profession, and by exemplary civic and philanthropic educational activities that support our youth and kids. Last year, in another event at the Al Davies Boys and Club, and I should say last week rather, we had another honoree inducted into the Hall of Fame. You may know who he is. He's on a national stage winning games back-to-back, and he is easily could be an MVP candidate, and that was Isaiah Thomas, the point guard for the Boston Celtics. He's an alumni of the Al Davies Boys and Girls Club. Please give him a round of applause. So tonight we are asking you to congratulate not only Ben Warner and Isaiah Thomas, but thank them for all of the amazing things that they have done to shed a light on our community and all the great work for the Boys and Girls Club. One more round of applause. I would now like to introduce the chairman of the Board of Governors of the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound, Mr. Darren Ziminek.
Thank you, Paris. Thank you for being here again and helping us. We greatly appreciate what you do and volunteer. I see you every morning. I told her this already. I'm a KOMO 4 News watcher, so dedicated to you. I'm sorry my commute is only 5 stoplights in 8 minutes, so the I-5 stuff doesn't really play into me. But I'm up here to do a different piece of tonight and recognize the great evening that we have and the people that we're honoring and celebrating, including this year's Stan Naccarato Community Service Award recipient. As a volunteer board member for the Boys and Girls Clubs for over 14 years and an active community volunteer in other activities, this award is very important to me and to our club. Back in 1992, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Pierce County, our predecessor, we wanted to do something to recognize community service of dedicated volunteers. Inspired by the dedication of one man, we created the Boys and Girls Clubs Community Service Award and named it after Stan Naccarato. Stan was our first recipient of the award. Many of us here, if you're a lifelong Tacoma resident like myself, you understand who Stan was. We're blessed to have had him in our community, spending his life working to make Pierce County, City of Tacoma, a better place for all of us. Truly an inspiration. Unfortunately, last year, Stan passed away. His wife, Jeannie, and family and friends are here tonight with us, and we want to thank them for being here and recognize them for carrying on Stan's incredible legacy. At this time, if I could just get a couple seconds, we want just a moment of remembrance for Stan and what he did for us and what his family continues to do for us. Thank you. All of our past recipients of the Stan Naccarato Community Service Award are listed on the screen. If anyone is here from a past recipient, whether you're an individual, an employee of a company being recognized, I'd ask you to stand up and be recognized at this point. We want to thank you for what you do in leading us to be better community members. Tonight, we're going to award this honor to one of our local family businesses who embody all the attributes of this award, not only as a company, but by their individual employees who demonstrate leadership and commitment to create a great future for the youth in our community. Some of you may have cheated and looked in your program, but I'm not going to tell you who they are yet. The company that we're recognizing, they're involved not only at a national level, through a program called Ford's Focus on Hunger, but they actually encourage their employees to be engaged in the community, and they have recognized Boys and Girls Clubs as one of their places. They come each summer and hold a barbecue for our club members. We're tremendously thankful for that. This company is also recognized as a community leader through their support of many great community organizations, not just the Boys and Girls Club. We're honored tonight to recognize and present the 2017 Stan Naccarato Community Service Award to the Titus-will Auto Group. Graham Tash and Jamie Will were not able to join us tonight, and so I'd like you to help me welcome Don Walston, General Manager of Titus-will Toyota, who will accept the award. thank you for what you do, what your
Thank you.
organization does. I own a Ford, so very, very happy for you.
Well, I represent the Toyota side, so we might have to do
Oh.
something about that.
I've owned a Camry too, no worries.
Excellent, good. I just wanted to say a few words because I actually grew up in the south end of Tacoma. So my brother was a member of the South Tacoma Boys and Girls Club back in the day. And I went along with him because I was a sister. Back then it was primarily the boys that went to those clubs, but since all the women and girls are welcome. So I am very fond of the club and the organization and everything you do. A little nervous, so I wanted to say on behalf of the Titus family, the Will family, the Tash family, everybody in our organization, 500 and some employees, just love to give back. And Leon, he's in the room, so Leon Titus is here representing the Titus family tonight. Thank you. But I also wanted to give a shout out to somebody who works tirelessly for the Titus-will Group. She, every single time there's an opportunity for us to rally, to go to the camps, to do the hunger drive for the peanut butter, this lady just takes charge and makes it happen. So while the rest of us kind of look good in our positions, this is the lady who makes it happen, and that's Jody Fetter. So I wanted to say thank you to her. She's an unsung hero. So we really do value the partnership that we have. We believe in the youth in the state of Washington and in the Boys and Girls Club especially. And there's always more that we can do. So thank you very much for this award. We're very honored and touched by it. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, thank you, Don. We're very happy, and I was very happy to hear you say there's always more you can do. So yes, we'll give you another call. Thank you so much for what Titus-will does for not just the Boys and Girls Club, but our community. So now we'll get back to the main program and why we're here, and let Paris take over.
And I'll have to I want to say my first car was a 1988 mom. In high school, it was a Toyota from Titus-will, so I just want to give you guys a shout out as well. I was driving one of those myself, but let's get on with the program. There are some individuals and companies we want to thank for their help and involvement with the Youth of the Year program and for helping to get the kids prepared for this competition. Starting off, University of Washington, Tacoma, who hosted absolutely the candidates on campus for a variety of events. Michael Bushmole of Applause Associates, who is the professional speech coach and worked with the candidates on their speeches. Melissa Klein, you can continue to applause or you can hold it until after. Let's applause. Melissa Klein of Milestones Remembered Photography, for capturing the great photos of each of the candidates that you see displayed on our screens throughout the evening and also on your tables. Arvin Mosley of Dreams in Sight, who conducted a personal brand workshop with the candidates. And our friends over at Macy's, who helped our candidates get dressed in their Saturday or Sunday's best, Tolo's best, as you can see throughout the pictures. And lastly, we want to thank all of our volunteers who helped with mock interviews, listen to speeches, edit essays. So we sincerely thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Now, at this time, we also want to extend a special thank you to those who make up the distinguished panel of judges. They had the tough decision last night, as you can imagine, in selecting this year's Youth of the Year based on the criteria I stated earlier. Now, after reviewing application packets, several rounds of interviews and questions, and listening to speeches, they had to come up and deliberate last night until they came together to decide on a winner. And it was no easy task. Now, as I introduce each judge, I would ask them to please stand. Mr. Ed Caudill, community advocate. Ms. Linda Chin, president and market leader of Mary Bridge Children's Hospital and Health Network. Dr. Raul Damangano from CHI Franciscan in Belfair. Mr. David Emmons, executive director of Olympic College Foundation. Ms. Kathy Littman, president and CEO of the Greater Tacoma Community Foundation. We appreciate your service and for helping these students come to this point. Now, as we continue with the program, it is now time to introduce you to the stars of this evening, our 9 Youths of the Year. Now, at this time, I would like to invite back up to the stage Mark Starnes and Carrie Holden to present the plaques to the candidates. Now, as I say your name, please make sure you make your way to the stage. And we're going to start off with Miss Nicole Ellis, the Al Davies Branch Youth of the Year. Nicole has been a club member for 11 years and has enjoyed the Torch and Keystone clubs because they have allowed her to build relationships and feel connected to her community as she gives back. She is a senior at Wilson High School and plans to attend Central Washington University and pursue a career as a social worker. Next up, Kayla Inte, the D.A. Gagne Branch Youth of the Year. Kayla has been a member of the club for 10 years and enjoys the art program and power hour, as well as getting to know the younger members as she helps them during her time at the club. She is a junior at Wilson High School and plans to attend the University of Washington when she graduates to pursue a career as a physician. Isaiah Hoskins, the East Side Branch Youth of the Year. Please come up. Isaiah has been a member of the club for 2 years and enjoys working with the staff to help the younger kids and other members with their homework. He is a junior at Lincoln High School and plans to attend Washington State University, go Cougs, when he graduates, and he also hopes to pursue a professional basketball career following in his grandpa's legacy. Come on up, Levi Jarrett, the North Mason Branch Youth of the Year. Now, Levi has been a member of our clubs for 12 years and enjoys Keystone because it allows him to plan and prepare at the club. He is a senior at James Taylor High School and plans to attend Mount Hood Community College and get his degree in mortuary science. Now we have Brianna Mitchell, the Lakewood Branch Youth of the Year. Brianna has been a club member for 10 years and loves the performing arts program because it allows everyone to open up and come out of their shell. She says she's currently a senior at Lakes High School and plans to attend college to become a psychologist. And next to the stage, we have Randy Wynn, the Henry T. Schatz Branch Youth of the Year. Now, Randy has been a club member for 5 years and participates in Keystone and Torch Club because he says those programs help the community. He is a junior at Lincoln High School and would like to attend the University of Washington when he graduates to pursue a career as a mechanical engineer. Next up, we have Emily Petty, the South Pierce King County Branch Youth of the Year. Emily has been a club member for 11 years and enjoys the arts and crafts program because she says it gives her an insight into the younger members to see how they light up as she interacts with them and others. She is a senior at Spanaway High School and plans to attend St. Martin's University and become a social worker. Next, we have Alicia Rocha, the Cheney Family Branch Youth of the Year. She has been a club member for 3 years, where she enjoys Keystone because she likes working together with others and helping her club and community. She is a junior at Gig Harbor High School and plans to attend the University of Washington-Tacoma. And when she graduates, she hopes to pursue a career as a veterinarian technician. And last but certainly not least, please welcome to the stage Kenny Staffney, the South Kitsap Branch Youth of the Year. Kenny has been a member of the clubs for 9 years, and he enjoys Power Hour because other members have helped him with his homework, and he strives to do the same and impact others. He is a senior at South Kitsap High School and plans to attend Olympic College, that's right, and pursue a career in law enforcement. What an impressive group we have. If you have not been tracking collectively, all of those 9 members combined have 73 years of club membership. Amazing. Please give them all a round of applause. Now, at this time, it is an honor to introduce someone who is no stranger to the stage. If you have heard her speak, she is a powerhouse in a tiny body. She was last year's Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound's 2016 Youth of the Year, Mrs. Kalayah DeGregory. Now, Kalayah is currently a freshman at the University of Washington-Tacoma, and she is here to share with us a bit of what her last year has been like. Please join me in welcoming her.
Thank you, Paris. Thank you so much. Oh my God, it's turned out so great this year. How's everybody doing tonight? Good? I'm so excited. Okay, so I definitely have so many things to share with you over my last year. After winning, I was so excited, and even more importantly, I was pumped and ready to move on to the next chapter of my life, which was college. I learned a lot this year, and I originally planned to go to Clark Atlanta University because I've always wanted to go to a historical Black college. So I enrolled, I packed my bags, and my mom and I went there, and let me tell you, I enjoyed the campus, the professors, the people I met there, and oh my God, the sun was just fantastic. With that, but there was just one thing that was missing. I didn't feel just right. I knew that Tacoma is where my heart is, and that is really where I want to learn, so I can give back. I quickly had to learn that as an adult, things don't always go as planned. And being Youth of the Year helped me with that, helped me learn how to work with changes in life, and definitely helped me with that. So yes, I do attend the University of Washington-Tacoma. Go Dogs! Woo! And I plan on majoring in law and policy. And you know, maybe I don't want to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but for those of you who know that I will continue to raise my voice for those who have not yet found theirs. I will continue to be that voice for them and to help them raise their voice. So no matter what I plan to major in, no matter how I continue to go about my life, I'm going to make sure that the youth that is my platform, and that's what I'm continuing to do. I can promise you that college is great, so go college. Also, but before I end this, my little update for you guys, I just want to leave you guys with 3 things. 1, you're not dumb, you're learning. 2, it's okay not to be okay. And 3, realistically, you cannot do everything you put your mind to, but that doesn't mean you should give it a shot or maybe even 20, okay? So let me just leave that for you guys. So to everyone here tonight, I'm so thankful that all that you do for the kids and your support of the clubs that has helped provide me and all of the youth of the year with the opportunities we have today. Unfortunately, we won't be able to hear everyone's speeches this evening. They were all awesome. But we do want you to have a chance to hear from each of the candidates and get just a feel from them personally how the clubs have impacted their lives. For me personally, the club has continued to impact my life by introducing me to great people, putting me in a positive setting, because that's what kids need. We need positive setting, we need all that. So that's definitely, there's so much more, but it's their night, not mine. So we will now hear from each of the candidates, how the Boys and Girls Club have impacted their lives. We will start with Nicole and move down the line. Coming up to the microphone, Nicole. How has the club impacted your life?
The Boys and Girls Club has brought me a lot of positive mentors and has also gave me a positive space to go to and have that as an outlet.
Nice. Let's give her a round of applause. Next up, Kayla.
The Boys and Girls Club helped shape me into the confident and encouraging person I am today. And it was also the place where I first had my first father role model.
Aww. All right, Isaiah, how did the club impact your life?
Basically changed my life. It was really hard for me to lose my grandpa at a really young age. And when I went to the Boys and Girls Club, it felt like home, and he was still around. And I believe that I will repeat his legacy and be up there with him someday.
Oh, that's all right, up next we have Levi. How has the club impacted your life?
The club has impacted my life. I was on a road of destruction. I was not set to graduate. But given the opportunities the Boys and Girls Club has, I now am an advocate for my own future.
There we go. Now we have Brianna. How has the club impacted your life?
The club has impacted my life by being there for my family. I don't know where I would be without the Lakewood Boys and Girls Club.
Next up, we have Randy. How has the club impacted your life?
I'm gonna do the same thing as you.
Okay.
The club has impacted my life by me being a role model to the youngin' and having better leadership skills in my community and just wanting to have this successful future to get my parents out of and have a better place for them to live. So, thank you.
Next up, we have Emily. Same question.
The club has helped me by enabling me to be the best me I could be as a leader and involving myself within the community and helping the kids of today.
There we go. Up next, we have Alicia. How has the club impacted your life?
The club has impacted my life by giving me lots of courage, and some of the stuff I do now I probably wouldn't have done before without the club.
And lastly, we have Kenny. Go Kenny. Kenny, how has the club impacted your life?
The club has given me a second home, and it immediately made me feel like family and welcome there.
Yes. I just want to say congratulations to all the candidates. You guys are doing great, and I wish you all the best. Can we give them one more round of applause? Thank you.
Now, as we continue to move on in our program, we have finally come to the time where one of the sealed envelopes from last night's deliberation will get opened. So tonight, all of the candidates are guaranteed to receive at least a $2,000 scholarship as the Youth of the Year from their respective branches. The 3 finalists announced will receive a minimum guaranteed total of $3,500. And the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound's Youth of the Year will receive a total of at least $5,000, a lot of money towards their education. So at this time, can I get a little bit of a drum roll, please? We are going to find out who the top 3 are. I can imagine it has been a hard decision to narrow down the names. So here goes, in no particular order. I will read one at a time, and each Youth of the Year from their respective branches will then give their speech. Kayla.
Hello, everybody. When I was very young, my family was homeless. My mom had left an abusive relationship with my father and was working hard to rebuild herself. When she left, he took everything. Because my great-grandmother had emigrated here from the Philippines, it was hard to receive help. My mom struggled to take care of me and my 2 sisters. We lived in homeless shelters, motels, and eventually our own home. I finally slept in my own bed. We had food on the table, we had a roof over our heads, and we had access to education. With the help of total strangers, and later from my uncle, my mom was able to work hard and provide for us. She was so dedicated that she at one point held 3 jobs while going to college full-time. That's when I began attending the Gagne Boys and Girls Club. I started going to the Boys and Girls Club in 2nd grade, the logo of holding hands being the first to catch my attention. I felt excited, anxious, and ready to explore. That day, I didn't know what the club would later mean to me. But now, I can confidently announce that the Boys and Girls Club is my second home. Getting to be a part of the club has helped me in so many ways. It was a place where I wouldn't have to worry about a meal, where I could improve my education, and where I could be a kid. Many staff, Miss Jasmine and Miss Katie, and many others have made an impact during my 10 years there. Due to my parents separating, I was self-conscious about who I was. I had no knowledge of my other family, culture, or heritage. I felt incomplete. The staff became my other family, and they made me feel whole. I struggled a lot with my self-image, from my weight to my skin tone. I thought that if I didn't look like a doll, then I wasn't beautiful. Staff there taught me how to love myself. It was there that I gradually became confident through programs like Girl Talk. I no longer believed I was too dark to be Asian. The club has taught me to love myself without degrading others, because at one point, all of us struggle with something, and it is so much easier to overcome these challenges together. Because of the help from staff, I now know that I am a strong, beautiful, and intelligent woman of color. The club has been a home to me where I learned to love, educate, and be myself. My mother always told me, Kayla, give back to those in need, because we wouldn't be where we are today without the help of others. The club was the place that helped me give back to the community. I was involved in Torch Club, Keystone, and when we could, my family and I would volunteer at homeless shelters. Then, once in high school, I joined Youth Leading Change to bring awareness to bullying and substance abuse, and I joined Multicultural Student Union to educate myself on cultural respect, racism, and social injustices. Thanks to the club, I've been able to give back to the community and aspire to continue giving back while pursuing a career as a pediatrician. Thank you to those who have influenced me and continue to do so, because without your love and support, I would not be the person I am now. When I was younger, I didn't have a home, but now, my home is the Boys and Girls Club. I am Kayla Ente, and I am the 2017 DA Gagne Youth of the Year. Thank you.
And now you see why it's so hard to narrow down just only 3 top candidates. Amazing. So our next student is Alicia.
My life story might be the same as everyone else's. The only difference is the person telling it. We all have gone through pain, something that we can all relate to, whether it's past or present. We choose to stand up or step aside and be silent. I chose to be silent because of the thought of what could happen. I grew up in a house that was unpredictable. My dad is bipolar and refuses to see it. Verbal threats and physical abuse were common actions. He never saw the harm he put me, my sisters, and my mom through. Eventually, he went to jail. After that, my mom, my sisters, and I lived with friends all over Tacoma. My mom did everything she could to support us. She was always there. In 5th grade, we moved to Tacoma. Gig Harbor. At that point, I felt like my voice couldn't be heard. I was still silent. The kids bullied me as I walked through the door of my new school. They would not let me sit or stand next to them. They yelled at me and pulled me back down every time I was almost up the hill. My silence continued to grow. Since then, I have been diagnosed with depression, and at one point, thought of taking my life. One person saved me and took me in. I never shared with anyone what happened that day. I wiped my tears away and kept going. The moment my life started to change was when I found the Boys and Girls Club. I never knew someone's perspective on life could change the way they see everything. I found my voice. I was no longer silent. My perspective on life grew, my feelings for the club expanded, I grew out of my shell. The club has given me courage to where I signed up to be president of the Latino club at my school and to be treasurer of Keystone. Now people see me as two things, a leader and an officer of Keystone. The club has always been a family to me. They are welcoming of all the passions that I have. I never once regretted being there. I'm going to use my voice to change the world. I plan on going to University of Washington, Tacoma to study my dream of becoming a veterinarian technician. I always loved animals since I was little and always thought to myself I would grow up living with 50 cats. Helping others has always given me a warm feeling in my heart. That is why I want to help animals. I am so thankful to be a part of a community that wants to change the world. I am Alicia Espelin Rocha, and I am so proud to be this year's Youth of the Year for the Cheney Boys and Girls Club. Thank you.
And I just have to say, if you are joining us for the first time this evening, this right here is your investment. Those last two speeches are just a portion and a sample of the difference that you are making to make sure that they are on the path to success. So congratulations with those speeches. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing, both of you. Our final speech will be given by Brianna.
Welcome to the adventure on Klein Street. Please come with an open mind and a sense of imagination while keeping your hands and feet in the cart at all times. This ride is best known where great futures start. Enjoy. It was a slow and rough start at the Boys and Girls Club. I felt very out of place and thought I couldn't belong here. At first, I built relationships with just the staff, but I knew that I had to make friends soon. I realized at that age, the only way I can make friends was by negative attention. So that's what I did. I picked on people who I knew couldn't do anything to me. Staff noticed a change in behavior and reminded me of who I was. So with consequences, I eventually got the hang of it. I gained friends I needed, and we even became leaders of the club. Brace yourselves, we're going up. The friends I made at Boys and Girls Club are just like my brothers and sisters. At the club, I'm at my best. Nothing matters to me other than enjoying the moment with the people I love. When we see each other at school, we make sure we're on the right track. We take care of each other because that's what Boys and Girls Club taught us. Hold on tight as we go through a turn. Freshman year, my grandma got sick and my mom immediately flew to New Jersey. At first, I thought I would be fine, a little break when it hurt. I cried every night because I missed my mom. It affected my daily life and my grades started to slip. But Miss Erin was right on it. She made sure I didn't go backwards and reassured me that my hard work wasn't going unnoticed. And when my behavior slipped, in came Miss D, who's the mom of the club. She put me in my place real quick. She told me that just because my mom was gone doesn't mean I forget how to act. And that's when I realized that even though my mom was gone, I had mother figures here at the club who were there for me. At this time, I ask that you stay calm as the direction of this ride takes a dip. My grandma then moved out here to stay with us for a while. With my mom volunteering at the club, she had a chance to meet the staff and my friends. A grandma's bond is like no other, so when she went back to New Jersey, a part of me went with her. April 17th, 2015, my world came to a halt. My grandma had passed. My first emotion was anger. I went outside for some fresh air and found my friends. They persuaded me to go to the girls' sleepover that night at the club. It was exactly what I needed. The staff showed my family nothing but love and support. So you see, the club is home. We're a family. Through all the ups, downs, and turns, the club was there for me. Being Youth of the Year has empowered me to fulfill my goal of being a psychologist. I want to help the kids who are having a hard time in life. The Lakewood Boys and Girls Club helped shape who I am. The club loved on me, so it's my time to pay it forward. I'm Brianna Mitchell. Thank you for riding the adventure on Klein Street. As we are coming to a complete stop, please remember to have high hopes, eyes open, and a huge smile along the way. Thank you.
I don't know if it's just me, but I'm like over there shedding a couple tears. Maybe it's the hormones, the new baby, but these are dynamic young people, and you're doing amazing thing here tonight. I did not expect that. My heart is so full just hearing their stories and how you have overcome. Keep on striving. You have a lot of people in this room. This is not scripted. Like, I do not just go places and start crying. So I apologize. I cannot be that person. We'll get it together. Woo. Alrighty. This is not about me crying up here. Okay. That just touched my soul. But moving along in the program, I would like to invite one of our alumni from the Albany Boys and Girls Club in Oregon to come up. And he is an incoming board member of governors of the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound and vice president for the strategic development at Clover Park. Excuse me. Ooh, that threw me off. And she is also, as I mentioned, the strategic development coordinator at Clover Park Technical College, Miss Tawny Dotson. Oh my goodness.
All right, well, before I start, I have to say that any future crying is Paris's fault, so thank you. As Paris said, my name is Tawny Dotson, and I'm a club kid. I grew up in Albany, Oregon on Jackson Street. 2 blocks from my house, they built the police department and the Lynn County Jail. At the end of the street, they built a homeless mission with an overpass, the railroad tracks that leads to a small industrial park and the Amtrak station. I grew up knowing I needed to have a healthy sense of fear about what was happening outside my house. It wasn't until a little bit later in life that I learned I needed to be careful what happened inside the house too. You see, when I was 11 and old enough to finally stay home after school, right about 3 o'clock when I got off the bus was about the time that my dad, who struggled with an addiction to alcohol and gambling, ran out of either beer or money, often both, and he came home angry, and I was the one there. I needed a better place to be after school, and someone, probably my mom, finally convinced me to ride my bike down 14th Street and go to the Boys and Girls Club. It was there that I met a gentleman named Tony Blunt. Tony was a program director at the Boys and Girls Club, and he taught me, and eventually my brother when he was old enough, an awful lot. One of the things he introduced me to was the Torch Club. It's a middle school organization that teaches you about leadership. We did things like fundraisers and field trips and community service. In fact, once we got to take a Torch Club field trip from Albany, Oregon, up to Seattle to the University of Washington. We went to a UW football game and got an opportunity to visit the campus. Tony's goal was probably not to impress upon us how amazing football games can be on the weekend, although I do distinctly remember that. I am fairly certain his goal was for us to remember his message, and his message was very clear. It was possible for a kid like me to go to college, to be something. And I believed him. I'd take Tony up on the offer that through hard work and higher education, I could make my life different. I, like Paris and a few of you, very smart people, attended Washington State University on a small Air Force ROTC scholarship. I graduated in 2002, and that same weekend, I commissioned into the United States Air Force. While on active duty, I deployed in support of operations enduring and Iraqi freedom, before transitioning to the Air Force Reserves and eventually to your Washington Air National Guard. It was through my Air National Guard service that I had the honor to be one of the first responders from the Guard at the devastation at the Oso landslide. But I wouldn't stop there. I got my master's degree from the #1 school of journalism in the country, the University of Missouri, and I'm a doctoral candidate at Oregon State University. Thank you. These days, very few people call me a club kid. Very few people know, although tonight I'm thinking the cat's out of the bag. They call me Major Tawny Dotson, the Chief of Public Affairs for the Washington Air National Guard. They call me the Vice President of Strategic Development at Clover Park Technical College. A small group of very committed Rotarians call me the President of the Rotary Club of Tacoma South. My husband, Lieutenant Colonel Dotson, an active duty Air Force pilot, calls me his wife. And the 3 best-looking troublemakers, one of which is here tonight, call me Mom. That's the best title of all. I'm not much, but I am something because someone who wasn't my mom, and she is phenomenal, someone took time out of their day to tell me that through things like hard work and higher education, I could change the way my life felt and looked in that moment, that I could change my trajectory. And tonight, I'm going to ask you to be a part of creating that kind of positive change for those kids that you just met and for kids just like me. If you remember nothing of what I have shared with you tonight, I hope that you will remember this. I have quite literally been in your seat, in this room, at these tables, and I have heard the request to give. And when I open that envelope, I invariably say to myself, but what will my money do? What impact can I have? Where will this go? Your donation tonight, however big or small, will be given to a program director. And they will use it to create field trips and programs to take kids like me and the Youth of the Year that you just met to places like Clover Park and Bates and TCC and Pierce and UW-Tacoma. And while they are there, they will talk to those kids and they will tell them that if you can commit to hard work and higher education, that what you are feeling right now, you can change your future. And if those kids are as lucky as I am tonight, 25 years from now, they will be our educators, our policemen, our firemen, our first responders, our elected officials, and our civic leaders, to name a few. They will be what makes Puget Sound really great. And it will be because of your gift that you will have changed their trajectory just like I was able to change mine. But most of all, I hope, above all hopes, that they will have the opportunity that I have right now to stand in front of all of you and look at donors and program directors in the eye and to tell you that your money and your work changed my life. And I thank you. On each of your tables tonight, there is an envelope with pledge forms. I'd ask that you please pass them around and take a moment to fill in, considering your gift. Whether it's $300 to feed children a snack after school or a monthly gift of $25, please know that your contribution will make programs like you have heard about tonight a reality. If you have already made a gift to the club or our current recurring pledge, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tawny, for sharing your story. Now to the moment we've all been waiting for. Now everybody, the room got really, ho-hum a little bit, so let's just all have a, let's just breathe. Okay. We are going to open the final sealed envelope. But before we do, we're going to have back to the stage the Chair of the Board of Governors, Darren Ziminick, and CEO Mark Starnes for the announcement.
Thank you, Paris. I want to take a minute and thank each of you for being here tonight, for supporting not only these 9 kids, but the over 1,500 kids we serve every day with your generous donations. We've heard a lot of stories. We heard 3 very moving stories. I was blessed to hear the other 6 last night, and trust me, they're all the same. These are incredible kids. If you didn't know where your money's going, it's not hormones. I'm a club kid. I know what a difference it makes. But if you didn't know what your money is doing and how it's being utilized, hopefully with these 9 young people you saw, and you see the future is bright. So with that, I'm going off script. I would like all 9 to come back up here to be recognized one last time. So all 9 Youth of the Year, come on up, please. Thank you so much. These kids are tremendously inspiring. And with that, Mr. Mark Starnes, I've got the envelope. Didn't come from Ernst & Winnie or KPMG. Ernst & Winnie, that's way back in the day, Ernst & Young. 2017 Boys and Girls Club of South Puget Sound Youth of the Year is Miss Brianna Mitchell. Let's go.
Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you to the judges. Thank you, God, because I could have not been here without him. Thank you to my mom for just continuing to love me on whatever path that I went through. Thank you, Ms. D, for always being there with me for whatever I needed. Thank you to Chad and Miss Sal for continuing to be with me along this process as I got stressed out. And thank you to the people at Boys and Girls Club, because I'm here because of you guys. You guys have helped me through everything. You guys are back there. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone.
What an amazing night. Again, we just want to thank all of you for all of your accomplishments, sharing your hearts, sharing your stories, doing everything that you're doing, not only in the classroom, in the community, in the clubs, to make a difference and to continue to let your light shine. So again, you are all winners. You made it thus far, so continued success as you can pursue your dreams. We want to also thank you again tonight for making the little bit of time, taking the time out of your schedule to be here and be supporting these 9 dynamic young people behind me. We appreciate your generosity. We appreciate if you are a mentor, your mentorship, if you are a staff member, being a role model, if you are a parent, raising these young people. These are our future, and at this time, we just have so much of a heavy heart and appreciation for all that you are doing in the community to make sure that not only these young people are successful, but those behind them and also moving forward are as well.